On the news, federal government suspends Twitter operation in Nigeria. Police Council confirms Usman Alkali Baba as IG. And Uzodinma accuses PDP of fueling crisis in Imo State. Glad to have you join us on News Now. I am Folashade Ogurinde. The federal government has indefinitely suspended the operations of microblogging platform and social network service Twitter in Nigeria. The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, announced the suspension in a statement issued in Abuja on Friday by the ministry spokesperson Segun Adeyemi. Mohammed cited the persistent use of the platform for activities that are capable of undermining Nigeria's corporate existence. According to the statement, the National Broadcasting Commission (NBC) is to immediately commence the process of licensing all over-the-top and social media operations in Nigeria. The suspension comes days after Twitter deleted a tweet from President Muhammadu Buhari's official account where he issued a threat to troublemakers in the country while making reference to Nigeria's civil war. The Nigerian Army has assured of its commitment towards the protection of lives and property, even in the face of heightened security concerns in the country. The Chief of Army Staff, Major General Farouk Yahaya, gave this assurance during a meeting with the visiting Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amici, in Abuja. The Army Chief was speaking in response to a request by the Minister for the protection of Nigerians and foreign nationals at the construction of railways at various locations in the country.
I'm about to resume work, also start work in Kano, Abuja rail line. And the contractors are very scared of their safety. So they want us to seek your assistance in providing security for them at Kaduna to Kano. And the work will start this June. So we need to know that we can have military, the presence of the military, adequate presence of the military to protect them. There are Nigerians and there are Chinese in the one of Kano to Kaduna. Similarly, there are Europeans, Portuguese in particular, that will also start this month to work at Kano to Maradi. They also want some security presence of the military. So they asked me to come to you to seek your assistance with regards to those two projects.
We are also willing and ready to provide the required security to ensure that this construction, these rails, are done, because they are very essential, they are very critical to development, to connect these other areas. So in terms of Kaduna, Abuja, Kano, Maradi, and Port Harcourt, Maiduguri, I want to assure the Honourable Minister that the Nigerian Army will provide the required security, maybe in relation and tandem also with other agencies, because like you mentioned also there are roles for other security agencies, but we will do our own bit and provide the security.
The Nigeria Police Council has confirmed Usman Alkali Baba as a substantive Inspector General of Police. The council, at the meeting presided over by its chairman, President Muhammadu Buhari, confirmed Baba's appointment less than 2 months after his appointment as IGP in acting capacity. The Minister of Police Affairs, Megari Dingyadi, confirmed the development to State House correspondents at the end of the meeting.
To get the appointment of the acting IG confirmed by the Council, that is in keeping with Section 215 of the Constitution, which requires the affirmation or the confirmation of the full members of the Council before he is finally confirmed as substantive Inspector General of Police. And secondly, to brief the Police Council on the security situation in the country. And as usual, the meeting started with the presentation of the Acting Inspector General of Police for confirmation, which fortunately the Council, because of the track records of service of the appointee, the Inspector General of Police, Usman Baba Alkali, was unanimously confirmed as the Inspector General of Police for the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Governor Hope Uzodinma and the opposition People's Democratic Party (PDP) in the state have engaged in a battle of words over the security situation in its state. Uzodinma is accusing the People's Democratic Party of fueling the recent crisis that has turned the state into topsy-turvy in the recent times, while the opposition party is demanding the governor's resignation for failing in his duty of protecting Imo people. Our correspondent Abisola Adebayo has details in this next report.
Imo State has not been the safest in recent times, from gunmen attacks to burning of police stations and extrajudicial killings. The residents of the state have continued to live in fear of these attacks. The Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma has however assured the people of the state of a positive change with the new security strategy he plans to bring on board.
There is now a compelling need to strengthen the security situation at the grassroots. Because if you look at the events of a few days, these bandits have left the urban area and they've gone back to the fringes. And we cannot allow our brothers and sisters at the remote villages to continue to be vulnerable. I'm bringing a security strategy, known and unknown, to manage security in Imo State.
Uzodinma also take a swipe at the opposition party, accusing them of sponsoring criminals tormenting the state.
But I can assure you that the opposition party are some aggrieved members of our party who are hiring boys from neighboring states to come in here. Allow me, I'll deal with them. I can assure you, leave that for me. So the people who threatened that will make Imo ungovernable, before Imo becomes ungovernable, they will be ungovernable themselves.
Meanwhile, in response, the People's Democratic Party accused Uzodinma of lacking solutions to the state's problems. They therefore ask that he tenders his resignation.
Governor Hope Uzodinma, in his capacity and responsibility as the Chief Security Officer of the state, has failed to protect the lives and property of Imo people. Consequently, under the circumstances, having critically reviewed the degeneration of bad security situation in the state, having evaluated the rate of casualties among civilian populations and security agents in the crisis, and having analyzed the immediate and remote causes and consequences of the deadly face-offs, Imo PDP has resolved as follows. In civilized crimes, Governor Hope Uzodinma ought to have resigned by now. The current violent approach by Uzodinma has failed and will not work.
Members of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, have been accused of masterminding many of the assaults in Imo State, but the group has repeatedly denied any involvement in the attacks. Abisola Adebayo, TV360, Lagos.
Moving on, Nigerian youths under the platform of the National Youth Council of Nigeria are tasking the Nigerian military to go all the way in its bid to restore peace to all troubled parts of the country. The president of the council, Solomon Adodo, made a demand at a press briefing on the state of the nation in Abuja. Adodo is critical of the move by the federal government to call for negotiation or worse, still paid ransom to bandits for the release of abducted Nigerians.
There should be a fine line drawn and clearly drawn between those who have labeled themselves as enemies of the state and terrorists. There should be no room for saying we are pleading with bandits or pleading with terrorists or allowing bandits or terrorists hold the nation by the jugular. There are sponsors of these groups. How do these arms, weapons, go around the country? It is the duty of our intelligence agencies to rise up and identify the sponsors of this anarchy. Most of them are carrying this out for political purposes. Most of them for economic purposes. Most of them just out of sheer wickedness because they want to oppress the nation. We want to state clearly that the Nigerian state is stronger than any one individual.
President Muhammadu Buhari's Special Assistant on New Media, Bashir Ahmed, has said the president is not responsible for the proposed change of Nigeria's name to the United African Republic UAR. According to Ahmed, a group of individuals was responsible for proposing the United African Republic as a name for Nigeria. In a tweet on Thursday, Bashir said a large number of people have already believed the false accusations, blaming the president for something he is not responsible for. The presidential aide's response came after Nigeria's House of Representatives received the proposal to rename Nigeria to the United African Republic, UAR. The chairman of the National Population Commission, NPC, Nasser Issa Kwara, has announced the commencement of pre-test data collection in readiness for population and housing census. Speaking on Thursday in Abuja, Kwara said the fieldwork and data collection for the first pre-test will hold from June 6 to June 13, 2021 in all the 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. The NPC boss said so far 630 local government areas have been demarcated for census, while the remaining areas will be demarcated in the next 3 months. The Nigerian Senate may soon legalize the national emergency number 112. This was disclosed in a press statement by the Director of Public Affairs of the Nigerian Communications Commission, Ikechukwu Adinde. According to Adinde, the Senate took the decision in order to strengthen the legal status of the country's national emergency number 112 being implemented by the Nigerian Communications Commission through its emergency communication centers. The Senate Committee on Communications recently organized a one-day public hearing where stakeholders gathered to make valuable contributions and observations on 2 bills by the Senate Committee on Communications. 13 persons, including women and children, have been killed in a boat mishap that occurred in Shagari local government area of Sokoto State on Thursday. The victims were said to be traveling from Doruwa to Ginga, where the boat capsized. Chairman of the local government council, Aliyu Shagari, said the incident may have been caused by overloading, but investigations are still ongoing to know what actually led to the incident. Governor Aminu Tambuwal, while condoling the people of Shagari, promised to provide them with motorized boats and life jackets. We'll take a break here, but still to come, cost of clinical trial delaying Nigeria's vaccine production. All this and more after the break. Welcome back. Well, let's now take a recap of some of our top stories. The federal government has indefinitely suspended the operations of microblogging platform and social networking service Twitter in Nigeria. The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, announced the suspension in a statement issued in Abuja on Friday by the ministry's spokesperson, Segun Adeyemi. Mohammed cited the persistent use of the platform for activities that are capable of undermining Nigeria's corporate existence. We also told you that the Nigeria Police Council has confirmed the Acting Inspector General of Police, Usman Alkali Baba, as a substantive Inspector General IG. The council, at the meeting presided over by its chairman, President Muhammadu Buhari, confirmed Baba's appointment less than 2 months after his appointment as IG in acting capacity. In case you missed any of our news bulletin, for more updates, do log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Google Plus at TV360 Nigeria. On Facebook, we are at TV360 Online. Eighteen COVID-19 related deaths were recorded in Nigeria in the last 24 hours, raising the fatality toll to 2,117. Latest data released by the NCDC shows that an additional 122 new cases were also discovered on Thursday. Thursday's fatality and infection tally is significantly higher than the 0 deaths and 17 cases recorded a day earlier, indicating another daily spike in infections this week. Of the 122 infections, Lagos recorded the highest number with 105 cases. According to the NCDC update, Nigeria's infection total is now 166,682. More countries, particularly in Africa, may begin to look inwards in their quest for COVID-19 vaccines, as India, the biggest supplier of the Oxford AstraZeneca jabs, have stopped more supplies owing to constraints. However, Nigeria's Minister of Health, Osage Ehanire, says lack of adequate funds is the principal reason for its delay. Details in this report. The struggle to acquire vaccines, as well as a dearth in healthcare funds, has left the Nigerian government scrambling to acquire vaccines from other countries. The Health Minister, Osage Ehanire, who spoke at a press briefing organized by the presidential media team, said while the government is open to local production of the coronavirus vaccine, the uncertainty over the ability to raise $1.5 million cost of clinical trial is responsible for the delay.
There are at least two, perhaps even three, Nigerian organizations that have laboratories that have developed what you call vaccine candidate. In fact, yesterday we were also talking to a fourth Nigerian laboratory based in Maryland, USA. He has also produced his own vaccine candidate. A vaccine candidate means that you have already been able to get the antigen, you have worked with it, and you have produced something that will work. Now, you have to do what is called the clinical trials. Clinical trial means you go through testing it, that it's safe. First of all, it's safe, does it cause a problem? Secondly, that it does what it promises to do, generate antibodies in your system. Okay? So you go through those clinical trials, which are very detailed and they're expensive. And one of our researchers here who has produced such a candidate vaccine, I asked him, how much do you think you will need to go through these clinical trials, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3? At least $1.56 million US.
While government bids for sponsors and investors in local production of the vaccine, the health minister says Nigeria is open to receive any AstraZeneca vaccine rejected by other countries due to fears of blood clot complications.
What we are doing now is approaching countries. We do what we call bilateral. Bilateral is that you approach certain countries who have surplus or who have declared they have surplus and say, will you share with us? There's one country that announced that they won't use AstraZeneca anymore. So we are going to contact that country and say, well, if you're not going to use it, send it to us. We are using it. It's working well for us.
On his part, the Director General of the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, Chikwe Ihekwazu, said despite Nigeria's success in stemming infection rates, the country must not let its guard down in maintaining all safety protocols.
Over the last few months, what we have learned is really to be humble as we deal with this pandemic. Many of the countries that we celebrated in the beginning of the outbreak, Malaysia, Thailand, Vietnam, Taiwan, are now in the middle of a severe resurgence of cases, recording over 1,000 cases a day. Japan, that was celebrated, is on the verge of having major challenges in the hosting of the Olympics. So why do I say this? As much as we acknowledge we have done well, we must be humble in our understanding of the situation in Nigeria and not drop our guards at all.
While the World Health Organization has raised the alarm over Africa's inability to manage a new wave due to a standstill in vaccine rollout, the Nigerian government says it is doing everything it can to protect its citizens through the provision of oxygen and vaccines. Folashade Ogurinde, TV360 News. We'll take a break here and return with more stories and business and the stock market. Do stay with us. Well, up next is business news and stock market review with Abisola Adebayo.
Thank you very much, Folashade. Welcome to Business News. Nigeria's inflation rate stood at 18.12% in April 2021, indicating the first decline in headline inflation in about 20 months. The Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, says this is a positive trend the government expects to be sustained. She, however, noted that Nigeria's food inflation will not drop as fast as other aspects of Nigerians' inflation indices.
Throughout 2020 and even 1 year before 2020, headline inflation had maintained an upward trend. For the first time in 19 months, inflation has shown a slight dip. It's a very slight dip, but it's a positive point for us. We had indicated that our projections is that inflation will begin to plateau in the month of April 2021, and this is an indication. So subsequent periods, we are looking at inflation beginning to trend downwards. Core inflation will not come down as fast as the other aspects of inflation, but it is important to also see that the rate of food inflation also showed a slight dip. And the rise in food index, which you will see if you check the detailed report, is driven by export foods such as coffee, tea, cocoa, breads, cereals, soft drinks, milk, cheese, not basic food items like rice, maize, and millet.
The Central Bank of Nigeria has disbursed 253 billion naira to 548,345 beneficiaries as part of its response to the COVID-19 pandemic. The Acting Director Corporate Communications, Osita Nwanisobi, who disclosed this on Thursday at the bank's special day at the ongoing 42nd Kaduna International Trade Fair, noted that the beneficiaries comprised 470,969 households and 77,376 small and medium enterprises. Nwanisobi, who was represented by the branch controller Kaduna, Ahmed Mohammed Wali, also disclosed that about 3.1 million farmers have benefited from the Anchor's Borrowers Program as of April 2020. We'll take a pause here and return with stock market review. The Nigerian equities market closed today's trading activities on a positive note to maintain the previous day's gain momentum. The all-share index posted a gain of 0.46% to close at 38,726 basis points. Similarly, the overall market capitalization value gained over 90 billion naira to close at 20.184 trillion naira. Price gain in many blue chip stocks as well as profit-taking aided transactions in sustaining the market's bullish run. Leading the gainers chart is Morrison Industries PLC with a 10 kobo increase, followed by Veritas Capital Assurance from the financial services sector with an increment of 2 kobo in the value of its share price. Moving on now to our losers list. On the flip side here now, the percentage laggards were led by CWG PLC from the ICT sector. It maintained its previous day position on the losers table. It is however followed by Regalins with 5 kobo loss. In summary now, that's the activity chart of the day. We can see 199 million units of shares valued at 1 billion naira. Exchange hands in 3,150 deals today. On the global scene, that's our international stock market. The FTSE and the Dow Jones are in the positive territory, while the Japan stocks Nikkei is unfortunately in the negative territory. The FTSE managed to gain ground today as traders are skeptical about the forecast of U.S. jobs addition, whether it will be as widely askew as expected. It recorded a 0.066% increase. The U.S. stocks is also in the positive territory today. That was the Dow Jones, with technology shares leading the way as weaker than expected jobs growth eased concerns about the economy running too hot and causing an early tightening of monetary policy. Japan stocks, as you can see right here, unfortunately, is lower today as technology shares follows their US peers lower overnight on inflation concerns amid a wait-and-see mood ahead of key US jobs data due out later in the day. That's all on stock market review. It's back to Folashade for the rest of the news.
Thank you very much, Abisola. Moving on to the foreign scene, the Namibian government has said a 1.1 billion euro development budget offered by Germany as compensation for an early 20th century genocide by colonial troops is not enough. The Southern African country's government started negotiations with its former colonizer Germany in 2015 over the 1904 to 1908 massacre of Ehoro and Nama people for rebelling against their rulers. After years of back and forth, the parties reached a landmark agreement last week in which Germany officially recognized the killings as a genocide. But many Namibians have rejected the outcome of the talks, claiming the offered amount is insulting and asking Germany to directly compensate victims in the form of reparations. Well, up next is Entertainment Reports.
Nigerian rapper Olamide's latest song, Rock, has made it to the #9 spot on Billboard's Trailer Global chart. Rock has attained that position by virtue of being one of the most used songs on the Trailer app since its release. Although the song was released some weeks back, it maintains the #2 spot on the top 100 on Nigeria Apple Music chart. Currently, the singer is trending at the #2 spot in the Nigerian Twitter space with over 34,000 tweets. Rock is the first single of Olamide's forthcoming 9th studio album, UY Scooty. Indani TV has confirmed that Rumor Has It, one of its acclaimed web series, is returning for a 3rd season after nearly 2 years. Confirming the show's return, Indani recently released a teaser featuring lead star Jemima Osunde. The teaser certainly hints of all the trouble Ronti may have up her sleeves in the new season. Rumor Has It first debuted in 2016 with the story of a gossip blogger whose life is on the verge of collapse. Season 2 maintained gossip blogging at its central theme, but with more than enough dramatic twists. And that's all on the entertainment segment of News Now.
Away from entertainment and to sports, the Super Eagles of Nigeria is set to extend an unbeaten streak of 5 matches when it confronts the indomitable Lions of Cameroon in an international friendly this evening in Austria. Kickoff time is 7:30 p.m. West African time. Both Nigeria and Cameroon will again clash in a second game also in Vienna on Tuesday. 3-time African champions Nigeria have not lost a match since they were edged by the odd goal by reigning African champions Algeria in an international friendly also in Austria in October 2020. Well, it's a wrap on our news bulletin. Thank you for watching. I am Folashade Ogrinde.